I'm doing pop culture, entertainment, Depth vs. Heard. I've been following Depth vs. Heard on this channel maybe for about 2 years now, something like that. And you probably know Amber's got a friend named Eve Barlow who defended her on Twitter for a very long time, almost every day at one point. Now it seems that Eve has deleted Twitter. It could be something else, but when you get this specific screen here that says this account doesn't exist, that usually means it's gone. There's another screen that will say something like, try again, this can't be found, whatever it is. But when it says it doesn't exist, that's usually because it's gone. Now, I put out a video about 2 or 3 days ago, and my speculation and real gut feeling was that people close to Amber are going to stay silent on Amber. And the reason is, the one thing Amber still has going is Aquaman 2. She's going to be in the movie, it looks like, and that's big. Now, I also don't think Amber is going to give up. I don't think she's just going to go away, fade away, write a book, and just do something else. I think at least for the next 2 or 3 years or something, she'll be thinking, hey, why not? People know who I am. Let me try to sneak my way back into the movies somehow. And the best way that could happen is if Aquaman 2 does really good, which it might. We'll talk about that in a second, which I've talked about a lot. But if Aquaman 2 does good, then Warner Bros. And Disney and people hiring her who are skeptical because of Virginia might just say, you know what? Aquaman 2 in the end did pretty good. Okay, give her another small little role, see what happens. Everyone knows who she is. Maybe that movie will do good because the movie she was in did good. And that's how these people think. It's all business. It's all the roll of a dice. It's all up to chance. And they figure, well, if that was positive, we don't have too much to lose by taking a shot. Now, the other thing I keep saying is there's a crowd that comes around and they probably mean well and they think they're doing the right thing. And what they say is, leave Amber alone. You've heard this. And I'm not talking about Amber fans. I'm talking about Johnny fans on the side of saying, leave her alone. She's irrelevant. Let her go away and she'll be irrelevant. Well, actually, that's going to have the opposite effect. What's going to happen is people who are on the fence about it. I'm not talking about Johnny fans who will never forget. I know you will never forget. People come around and comment all the time, I'll never forget. Then we're not talking about you. What we're talking about is people who saw the case and they were kind of like, they heard some things that Amber fans bombarded them with about how she's innocent and this and that. And they said, okay, maybe. They heard, Johnny fans and they said, okay, maybe. And then in the end, they're like, okay, Johnny won, but I don't know. I saw Amber cry. Some of it was real. I don't know. And then Aquaman 2 comes along, and they haven't heard about Amber for a year. Perjury in Australia, DUI, Johnny's finger, all the things she did for paparazzis to get attention, how she loved attention, how she walked out topless in Johnny's garage, and pictures got around of it, and that was probably deliberate. All these things are not in these people's mind. As a Johnny fan, as someone following the case, following closely, these things are in your mind. So you're going to be like, I'm not going to see Aquaman 2. But if people like Eve Barlow and probably some of those doctors that follow Eve that's got their little group there, just be quiet about Amber, these people will not be reminded about the bad things, and they'll be like, yeah, Aquaman 2, yeah, maybe I'll see it. I don't know. I think I remember something being wrong with Amber, but no, I'll see it, no big deal. And they'll see it, and the movie will do pretty good. Then I circle back to what I just said about how it might be worth the risk to keep her, because the negative attention will have cooled down. Now, having said that, to contradict what I just said, Johnny fans will keep the pressure on. We will keep reminding people of the facts. But if people like Eve get off Twitter, and all Amber's PhD friends and Michelle Dauber stop talking about Johnny, stop talking about Amber, well, then they don't give the Johnny fans, the YouTubers, the bloggers, the websites on Johnny's side anything to work with. There's no news, and people forget. And I think that's their strategy, because Eve knows that a lot of people report on her because she's close to Amber. I'm guilty of that. I'm one of them. But not only me. We've seen plenty of other big platforms report on her. I think, this is my personal opinion, her and Amber and some of their close associates got together and said, let's just stay silent. Now, I also don't think this is personally Amber's idea. I think she probably couldn't control herself. She's probably got OCDs, addictive habits, things like that. And on her own, she would have probably, kept going a little bit, making a little news and things like that. But she listened to somebody. She listened to one of the feminists who's on her side, who's very political about it, and said, Amber, sweetheart, stop. You're not doing any good. Aquaman 2 is important. We gotta shut up. And Amber said, yes, I look up to you. Okay, you're awesome. I'll listen. And there you go. And now maybe Eve's thinking, well, I might as well go off Twitter. And I saw signs because Eve was losing followers and it looked like she wasn't tweeting as much. So there you have it. Beatrix Kiddo also noticed this. I actually found it on her account. So big shout out to Beatrix. Not sure what language that is. Italian? German, maybe? I don't know. I speak Japanese, not that language. Someone found this account, but it's not real. There's no way Eve would start following 220 people and get no followers back. The real Eve was only following 838 in the first place out of 61,800 something, so there's no way that Eve would jump back on there and automatically follow 200 people. And Robert says, is she really gone? Damn. Bew says, I bet it's all for attention. Well, not really, because while you get some attention for quitting Twitter, and yes, you see this video here, people forget real fast. I mean, next week, we won't be thinking about this. So she might get attention for a couple of days. Maybe she'll get a small rush to her Substack or Instagram or something like that, because people will be wondering, but that's short-lived. That's not really long-term progression or growth. And McGee says, I thought it smelled better in here. Okay, ha ha, ha ha. And we got some eyeballs from Tug Simp. What's going to happen is you'll see news on Amber especially just flatline. Now, the good thing is there's always going to be Johnny news. We'll always follow Johnny, his positive things he does, his movies, and all that kind of thing. But that won't necessarily deter people from seeing Aquaman 2. And if you think that, well, she's only in it 10 minutes, it's not that important to them, it's just a quick thing. Nope, it's all she's got. It's a huge movie. Being in a movie that big for 1 minute would be an extremely big thing for most people in their life. So for like 10 minutes in a movie that size, yeah, that's not so bad. I mean, it's bad compared to what she would have been, how much time she would have gotten, but it's not bad. So that's it. That's the strategy. That's my opinion. We're going to silence ourselves so they've got nothing to say. And the general public, not the Johnny fans, I know we'll never forget, but the general public and the people riding the fence will forget, and they'll go with their boyfriend or girlfriend or brother or sister or best friend or whatever to see Aquaman 2 because they just won't have enough ammunition to defend themselves when their friend's like, how come you're not going to see it? They'll be like, well, because Amber I don't know, I'll see it, Their minds will not have been refreshed on why they shouldn't see it. And let's get real. To not see a movie because of someone in it takes a lot of passion and motivation on your part. I've been through this here with the Star Wars franchise, and like I said, disappointingly, even people who heavy-handedly criticize the franchise were on the side of not seeing the movie, never ever saw it to review it and talk about it so they wouldn't be behind on the news and the talk of the town. And unfortunately, that's what's going to happen here for some people. Let me know what you think down below. Shout out to Debbie Basil, always here, always commenting. Thank you so much, Debbie. Shout out to Angela and Vanity7, always commenting. Thank you so much. And big shout out to my friend Tommy, who's been here a very, very long time, probably about 2 years, maybe more. Thank you so much, Tommy. He's got a channel also. Maybe check it out if you get a chance. And if you're not subscribed here, Consider it. If you don't consider it and don't subscribe, I'll be pretty sad. Rant done for now, because this was kind of a rant. See you next time.